It looks like, once again, the most vulnerable Californians are in the free fire zone. We are not providing cost of living adjustments to those that need it most. We are still trying to take away from people who are trying to live in their homes the opportunity to continue to live in their homes. It's the same thing. There is not, the only thing that we've seen different, frankly, is that there is this idea of selling things, but that's pretty much down the road, not right now. So we're going to go through and try to understand better why the things that we always disagree on at some point can't be just items of agreement. It seems to me, somebody asked about the Williamson Act. I think that gives the Republicans something to ask for to put back in. You know, there's a little bit of that going, a little bit here, a little bit there. But any of us that have been doing this for a short period of time know the drill. And the governor is very fond of saying that this is part of the kabuki, and we usually get accused of being the people who dance the kabuki. And in this instance, I think he's our dancing partner, and he's leading. And I don't want you to make any more of that than you will. But I ain't having any of it. What is being begged here is the need for us to sit down and change the way California funds programs, captures revenues. I think the governor is going to have to take that issue on, or he's not going to want to serve the last 3 years of his term. I mean, these little mix and matches, and we're going to sell this off, we're going to sell that off. We're about done with that now. And the question is, when are we going to start rationalizing our system of capturing revenues and spending revenues in some kind of a rational way? If you look at this budget, there is no rhyme or reason to anything being done. I would defy anybody to sit down and plot this out and say, this is the fiscal policy of the state of California. It's not there. And if you stop and think about it for a minute, a lot of the ways we depend upon funding services in California, we are effectively giving the money to the federal government. We rely heavily and more heavily on sales taxes, and we can't deduct that from our tax forms. The one thing that we can deduct, property taxes, we've got screwed our heads on so tightly about, oh no, the sky's going to fall if we even talk about it, that we are giving away billions and billions of dollars that otherwise could be part of the pocketbooks of Californians. No wonder they're angry about the way in which the state funds or doesn't fund its programs. We haven't had any rational policy in this state since 1978, when we moved away from local control. We put all the money and all the emphasis in Sacramento, where all the geniuses are. And then we, a little plug here, we made sure that no one would know what they were doing because we put in term limits. So now we have a bus station rather than what would pass for a government. So I would encourage the governor, if, however we get through this budget, he will not want to be the governor of the state of California when Don Perata and Fabian Nunez leave. Not because we're going to be going, although there will be a huge vacuum, understandably, when we go. But the fact of the matter is, we can't keep doing this. No one can keep doing this. So that's what we ought to be looking at. He ought to lead that charge, a bipartisan effort to rationalize the way Californians contribute their taxes and receive services, where we are no longer going to be a sidecar to the federal government, where we just drive up and dump the money to them. So that's what I'm going to be looking for as we, this will be the same, skirmishes that we always do. It will not pay no one will pay any attention to it between now and the time that we have the final budget, except after June 15, you will write and talk about we haven't passed the budget. But the only way that's ever going to change is if we decide to do something unlike the way we've been doing it since I've been here, and again, since 1979. Well, I think Fabian said it very well. The people that we are in elected office to help the most are the ones that go most at risk. But this is not new. It's, again, as I said, we've got them in the free fire zone, and people who get care into their homes have to worry. People who have been told with the CalWorks program. And if you work hard, we're going to help you get off of welfare and become a productive citizen. We are showing that we are declining, those numbers are declining, which means the program's working. But if you don't give them a little bit of cost of living, I mean, hell, anybody in this room who belongs to a bargaining unit or who is an independent contractor, when you sit down across the table from your employer and start negotiating, cost of living will come up at some point. These people have no one to speak for them. And these are the people that we're trying to bring from the poverty class to working poor to middle class. That is a plan. I don't see that plan.